It's just past dawn in Taipei. A shrill siren pierces the morning calm. Headlines flash on screens. Chinese warships cross median line. Fighter jets roar overhead. Onlookers gather on city rooftops, eyes fixed on the horizon, their faces tense with worry. Broadcasters speak in urgent tones. This is no drill. Across the region, alerts sound in embassies and foreign offices. Social media explodes with videos of gray hulls slicing through the choppy waters of the Taiwan Strait. In Washington, military leaders huddle in the Situation Room. Tokyo's government issues a rare midnight statement, urging calm but preparing for contingencies. The world watches, breath held. Diplomats scramble. Emergency hotlines buzz between capitals. Some speak of miscalculation. Others whisper of a new era, one where Asia stands on the brink of conflict. For many, the question is no longer if, but when. The old strategies, it seems, are not enough. Tonight, Asia stands at a crossroads. As warships move and alliances are tested, a new question emerges. Is it time for an Asian NATO? The idea is not new, but this morning, in the wake of fresh tensions, it feels urgent. News anchors repeat the question, is it time to revisit an Asian NATO? Politicians echo the call, analysts debate on air. In policy circles from Canberra to Seoul, the concept is back on the table. For decades, Asia has lacked a true collective security alliance. Countries have relied on bilateral pacts, quiet understandings, and ad hoc meetings. But as threats grow, so does talk of something bigger, a formal, powerful alliance, one that could deter aggression and guarantee peace. Supporters say the need is clear. China's military buildup, North Korea's missile launches, and disputes in the South China Sea. These are not isolated events. They are symptoms of a deeper instability. Without a united front, some argue, Asia will always be vulnerable. Of course, not everyone agrees. Critics warn of escalation. But the debate is real. In the shadow of today's crisis, the world asks, could an Asian NATO prevent the next disaster? To understand the present, we must revisit the past. After the Korean War, the West sought a shield against communism in Asia. In 1954, 8 nations, including the US, UK, Australia, and Pakistan, formed SEATO, the Southeast Asia Treaty Organization. Its model was NATO, but its mission was Asia. SEATO promised collective defense. An attack on one would be a threat to all. It aimed to stem the spread of communism and reassure nervous allies. For a time, it seemed a bold new step. But cracks soon appeared. The group was never as strong as its European cousin. Key Asian players, like India and Indonesia, stayed out. Members disagreed on threats and priorities. By the 1970s, as the Vietnam War ended and alliances shifted, SEATO's relevance faded. In 1977, SEATO formally disbanded. It left behind lessons about unity, trust, and the challenge of building alliances in a diverse region. Still, the memory of SEATO lingers as leaders now reimagine how Asia can cooperate for peace. Today, the Indo-Pacific is a patchwork of risk. Nowhere is this clearer than around Taiwan. Chinese warplanes cross into its air defense zone almost daily. Warships circle. The threat of invasion, once unthinkable, is now openly discussed. But Taiwan is not the only flashpoint. The South China Sea seethes with tension. China builds artificial islands and fortifies them with missiles. Vietnamese boats face off against Chinese patrols. Filipino boats face off against Chinese patrols. Malaysian boats face off against Chinese patrols. Fishermen are caught in the middle. The rules of the sea seem to shift daily. North Korea, meanwhile, tests missiles that can reach Tokyo or even Guam. Japan and South Korea scramble jets and stage joint drills with the US. Australia worries about cyber attacks and foreign interference. The sense of unease is widespread. Each week seems to bring a new crisis, a new risk of escalation. In the Indo-Pacific, old rivalries combine with modern threats. For many, today's dangers feel sharper, and the need for unity more pressing. China's rise has changed the regional balance. Its military budget has soared, with new ships, jets, and missiles rolling out each year. Beijing asserts historic rights in disputed waters and speaks of reunification with Taiwan. For neighbors, this is both awe-inspiring and deeply unsettling. Japan is rearming and rewriting its defense policies. South Korea juggles its alliance with the US and a wary North Korea. Australia boosts defense spending and signs new security pacts. New partnerships like the Quad and AUKUS send a message. Washington is here to stay, but as China's shadow grows, so do the questions. What exactly is an Asian NATO? The The term kind of evokes images of soldiers standing shoulder to shoulder, united in purpose. But in practice, building such an alliance is complex. It would mean a formal treaty, not just informal talks or military exercises. Members would pledge to defend each other if attacked. So, who might join? Japan, South Korea, and Australia are often named. Some say the Philippines and Singapore could play roles. The United States as an anchor would be vital. India's stance is crucial, but its long tradition of non-alignment really complicates matters. Others might join as observers or partners. An Asian NATO would have to agree on threats. Is the alliance aimed at China, North Korea, terrorism, cyber attacks? Unlike Europe, where NATO focused on the Soviet Union, Asia's dangers are more varied, and honestly, more political. The alliance would need headquarters, joint command structures, and regular drills. Intelligence sharing would be key. But above all, it would require trust. A rare commodity in a region scarred by history and rivalry. NATO's success in Europe is striking. For over 70 years it has kept the peace between great powers. Article 5, an attack on one is an attack on all, has deterred conflict and ensured stability. Former rivals like Germany and France now stand as close allies. But, can this model work in Asia? The differences are stark. In Asia, threats are more diffuse, and historical wounds still linger. Asia's diversity is its strength, but also its challenge. If Asia can adapt these lessons, a new alliance could shape a safer future. But the path to an Asian NATO is, honestly, full of obstacles. The first is politics. Not all countries trust each other. Old disputes over borders, history, and trade run deep. Japan and South Korea, for example, often clash over wartime memories. India and China have their own rivalries. ASEAN nations prefer flexibility over firm commitments. Then there's public opinion. Many Asians remember foreign intervention and colonialism. Some fear that a formal alliance would provoke China or force countries to choose sides. Leaders must weigh security needs against economic ties and public sentiment. Legal and military differences pose problems too. Defense budgets and capabilities vary widely. Intelligence sharing is sensitive. Language barriers and different military doctrines can slow cooperation. Most of all, no one wants to trigger a new arms race or make the region less stable. Building trust, ensuring transparency, and setting clear goals. All are essential if an Asian NATO is to work. The stakes for Asia's future are, honestly, huge. What would an Asian NATO mean for the region? Supporters say it would deter aggression and reassure smaller states. It could help manage crises and respond to disasters. Regular drills and intelligence sharing would boost readiness. In theory, it could anchor peace for decades. But risks are real. A new alliance might harden divisions and prompt China to respond more aggressively. Smaller countries could be caught in the middle. If unity falters, the alliance might collapse at the first real test. Some fear an arms race spiral, with each move prompting a countermove. Still, without cooperation, Asia could see more instability. The cost of inaction, a miscalculation, an accidental clash, or an unchecked arms buildup, could be even higher. The region stands at a tipping point. As warships sail and leaders debate, one fact is clear: Asia's future will be shaped by the choices made today. Whether through a new alliance or a creative alternative, the need for collective security has never been more urgent. The call for an Asian NATO reflects both fear and hope. Fear that old alliances are no longer enough. Hope that a new partnership could keep the peace. History offers warnings, SEATO's failure and NATO's success, while today's tensions demand fresh thinking. Asia's diversity is its challenge, but also its resource. Any new alliance must reflect this. It will need flexibility, trust, and a shared vision. It must deter threats without provoking war. That is a tall order, but not impossible. For now, the region watches and waits. Each new crisis brings the question back: can Asia build the unity needed for peace? Or will mistrust and rivalry prevail? The stakes could not be higher. The debate is not over. But one thing is certain: what happens next in Asia will shape the world for generations to come. The clock is ticking.